Hello and welcome. Don't mind any disruptions noise-wise, they're just happening today. This is going to be some tea for check-in for Divine Masculines with Karmics, or Divine Feminines with Karmics. And, as you can tell, there are plenty of delays, disruptions, misunderstandings, things like that, and a general air of irritation about things right now, especially since I started doing the reading, even from the All Signs and the Divine Masculine reading. There's general irritation. I felt like an even stronger pull towards it since I was getting ready for this reading, which there was all sorts of delays. My internet connection didn't want to work. Every time I think that there's a moment of silence, somebody's doing something else, which is all normal stuff, but the energy in there is just... It's definitely head and heart disconnected. It's definitely frustration. So I'm getting the sense that because that got heightened in coming into this reading, that is part of the reading. But take it or leave it. If it resonates, it's yours. If it's not, leave it for someone else. Also, I wanted to try something fun. These are actually just some cards that I got from the dollar store for my youngest son, and it's funny, look at that root. But I kind of want to use them and see how it goes. And we're going to pull out one for, well, I'm going to pull out two for each. We'll do the Divine Masculine on this side and Karmic on this side and see how it goes. I'm kind of playing with a new format here. Thank you, Spirit, for one or two of these cards for masculines, Divine Masculines in third-party Karmic situationships. I almost wanted to come out there. Thank you. Oh, what do we got here? I'm going to take this one that came off the back. Oh, you know what's funny is when I pulled it, I saw it like that. So I'm going to take it like this as rain, which isn't that so fitting that it's rain as in a throne. And on the other side is rain. Now, these are homophones, but I like that it came out like that. So Divine Masculines have rain, as in to reign over something. And just a note, the rose is what was right under that. I don't know why my webcam has got such a tiny screen today, but we're going to work with it. Thank you. And look at that in the back peek. Thank you for one more card for Divine Masculines, please. What is in there? Their energy. It might be that one, no? What do we get? Rose. Interesting. Oh, and look at that. I was going to say, isn't that rose? Yeah, it's the same. But it came out this way. Rose, apples and oranges. I'm also getting the sense that this is them doing comparisons, apples to oranges, like they're comparing their karmic and probably with their divine feminine and vice versa. They're also trying to get kind of their ducks in a row, trying to get them, so I'm getting the sense that this is very much them trying to get their lives in order to some degree, or wanting to at least. It's funny, on the back, I know this is relevant to my DM in particular. He'll laugh when he eventually sees this video. Clothes, and I'm going to say it's in reverse, like something to do with clothes that are probably not being washed properly. And it's funny because clothes is on the other side, and that would be in reverse. Anyways, so we've got somebody's laughing about something. Let's get a couple of cards. We'll move these over. Let's get a couple of cards for what's going on with their karmic. Going on with karmics in third parties with these divine masculines. Thank you, Spirit, for a couple of cards showing us what's in karmic energy. Oh, interesting. Okay. And both in reverse. So we got divine masculines and upright with rain and rose, which is funny, two R words too. And what we have here for the karmics is one, but in reverse, and tail, but in reverse. And if we turn them over, tail and one. Oh, that's so funny too. I'm kind of getting the sense like if you take this sort of like a snake tail in a way, but it's a lizard tail. And if you think about the lizard, this is in fact an iguana. We used to have iguanas, and their tails are funny. Their tails can actually break off, and it's a way that if a predator gets a hold of them and they can't use their tail for defense, it just breaks off, and they can grow a new one. And actually, that's very fitting in a way So I would almost, this is funny, this would be a very good karmic card for karmics that are in toxic energy, because some karmics are not. Some karmics are, they're good soulmates. They're just not, the same connection isn't there as you have with the twin flame, and they're still mostly there just for learning lessons. But some karmics are much more like lizards. and in this sense, like, it would make sense as a karmic who maybe was like ready to go on to a new target situation, find someone else to play out their karma with, things like that, and then just, maybe they got into a fight with divine masculine or someone, they just let their tail break off, and they run and find safety, and they let their tail grow back while they rebuild with somebody else. Now, it's interesting because this is an experiment, so if I was to think of that process in reverse, I could see it as two things. I could see it as being sort of like the mythological Hydra, or rather than just having a tail that breaks off and goes back, instead it's like having heads that regrow, like you chop one off and there's another. And actually, I think for some of you divine feminines, actually this is the karmic thinking of you as kind of, as both this, as a lizard who's like, man, like she keeps, if you've got karmics who are trying to get you riled up or get you to not love your divine masculine, or get them to not love you, or do things like that, they're continually like pulling off what they think is your only defense, but then suddenly you're there and it's regrown, and maybe to them they're focusing on that situation and they're like, oh my gosh, like no matter what I do, it keeps growing back, or or in the Hydra situation, so that's turning them sort of into the Hydra situation, where they're like, they're trying to grow more heads so they can figure out how to keep either you or their masculine from regrowing, the tail, having both, because the tail is also a sword, like having that defense. I'm also getting the sense that because of the sword relationship, that some of these karmics might either be in air sign energy or might be an air sign, like Gemini, Libra, or Aquarius. And it also has to do with some heart energy, because we got a lot of green in there. Interesting. You'll have to let me know with feedback below as to what you think of including these cards, but we still have a little ways to go. Now this one, I think, it's kind of an interesting energy for karmics to be in. Obviously in upright, it would be 1, first place, but it's in reverse. So karmics are likely, let's see what's on the inside. 1. That's kind of fitting, just in these homophones, like, to be number 1, to be the winner. So in reverse, that's not winning. And I can hear the dog in the background. I can hear kids in the background, too, so they're probably feeling highly irritated. They probably thought that they were going to win something. They may have even, it might have been, in fact, I know from my own circumstances and others that this might be that they thought that they were going to win some sort of situation with you, and they didn't. And they're focusing on that you seem to be unlike any of the other feminines that the other guys they've been with, or the other people they've been with, like they've been able to drag them into drama or piss them off or cut off their tail and it didn't grow back and they ran away, tail, whatever remained of their tail between their legs. But you seem to keep coming in, and you're not a very big presence. You're not like, you're not like Godzilla coming in there and storming things down. You're not being dramatic. You're working on yourself. You're like glowing up. You're cool. You're good. And every time they try to chop off your tail, it grows back. And they may be trying to tell a tale about that, and it's not working. They're not winning. At least they don't feel like they're winning. What's funny is they very well, like, if you're in a good, secure emotional state yourself, there's nothing really to win. You're not competing with them. And that's probably why they're in this energy, because they're used to people competing with them. And this is why they might see you as your tail keeps growing back. Or if they're arguing with masculines and they're trying to maybe they're trying to destabilize masculines right now. We'll have to see what the cards play. I think that's for some of you. For a fair amount of you, this is karmics that are thinking about you and going, just feeling like they just can't win. There's just something different about you. Even if you're not doing anything, even if you're in a no contact situation, somehow they are thinking about you and seeing you as winning and them as not winning, and they're not sure why. For others, this is they're not winning with the masculine that they're with, and they may be trying to destabilize him, and he is sitting in his emperor energy right now, for lack of a better way to put it. And interestingly enough, on the bottom of the deck, when I pulled those two cards, was peace. And what's on the back? Fur. Oh, interesting. Interesting that it's tiger stripes. And it's furs and fir tree. Peace. Fur. I have said, I think peace is obviously looking for the missing puzzle piece and looking for the share, the slice of pie, and feeling like there's a piece missing. I think this is actually both divine masculines and karmics, and maybe even divine femmes to a certain degree, feeling like there's a piece missing, kind of a hole in the soul sort of thing. Like, and the fur is interesting. It kind of, to me, it's like a comfort thing, and also camouflage. And I mean, because of the tiger, like wildness, predatory things. I don't know if those have a play, but I like to look at stuff like that. Okay, so I'm going to use my regular deck for masculines. We'll pull some cards over here, and I only got a small, tiny screen, so I'll do my best to make sure that everything can be seen. I'm going to pull these for divine masculines. Thank you, Spirit, for showing us. What's the T? What's going on with divine masculines right now that are in third-party karmic situationships? Thank you for some information. Oh, what are we going to do there? Is that, how many cards? That's too many cards. Thank you if you'd like to give me any, well, not any, but thank you for giving me a few of those cards back. Maybe 4 cards. Oh, interesting. Okay. Actually, this is funny. I was just thinking, I did the DM check-in, and I was thinking about this magician showed up. What's behind him? Okay. The magician showed up, and it was right after it was the 5 of Swords, and I had 2 thoughts. One, the 5 of Swords, if you hyphenate it, it's the 5 of S words, which is like swear words, and that's what that card's about. But because it was this one and then the 5 of Swords, I was thinking an additional reading that should go in here is that some masculines are actually trying to manifest conflict to free themselves, or maybe even to figure out what the truth is, like where the truth is and who is fooling them or not fooling them. But this, I'm going to pull some more cards. We're not going to focus too much on how the deck is shuffled right now, but with that coming out again, with this 10 of Swords in reverse, I'm really getting the sense that, yes, and especially with this up here, this is interesting to add this in, that masculines are manifesting their freedom and their ascension, but they might be kind of going in with a fight fire with fire sort of thing, but because this is swords, and even in the other reading it was swords, it's more of an intellectual thing, but they may be getting into some like bratty energy and their own kind of toxic energy, because they're tired, they're exhausted, they're not getting enough sleep, they're being overburdened, they're being betrayed, they're having their boundaries broken, things like that, and they're subconscious, they want to be free of all of that. Let's see, can we get a few more cards, please? Oh, interesting. Yep, look at that. Knight of Wands is next. Let's see. Okay, let's see. And on the back of that, for the Knight of Wands, 5 Cups. Passionate emotional messages. And it's interesting because that Knight is facing that 10 of Swords in reverse. He wants to tell you about it, I think. Or he's talking with them about it. That could even be that they are talking about it. Thank you for a few more cards, Spirit. Whoa, that's so many. Alright, we got 3, and I was only hoping for 2, but I'll take 3. And we'll just see how we can do this. I'm just going to have to move my camera. So we have King of Pentacles, the Queen of Swords in reverse, and Hermit in reverse. So interesting. So in reverses, reversals. We have the Ten of Swords, betrayal, thoughts, and wanting a fresh start. We have the Queen of Swords in reverse, the Queen of the Queen of swear words, right? And we have the Hermit in reverse. And in upright, we have the Knight of Wands and the King of Pentacles. If we look at this Knight, you know, it's funny, he's definitely looking here, but he also, to me, appears to be looking at these two also. And the Queen of Swords in reverse is looking at the King of Pentacles. While the Hermit, go figure, looks away. Actually, what's funny is where my deck is sitting over here, my karmic deck, is where the Hermit is looking. So the Hermit, or the masculines, may very well be kind of taking actual, like some of them might be getting into tarot readings, or they might be having dreams or nightmares that are telling them about the karmic situation. And being that the king here is looking at the Queen of Swords in reverse, it could very well be that he's trying to get stable. He's trying to get his castle in order. He's trying to get his ducks in a row, and he's looking and seeing that he has some instability going on, and he wants to end it. In fact, I mean, that having the Hermit card in here could very well be that, you know, this is the situation going on. He's tired. He's been backstabbed a bunch. His boundaries have been broken. He's annoyed. He's trying to get his life together. And he's speaking up passionately about it, but actually in a positive way. He's having good boundaries about it, but he's not, it's still somewhat immature. So some of it is a bit reactive. It's fiery. He's leading with the Leo, Mercury and Leo energy. So some of it might be harsh, but he's putting up boundaries, and he's taking risks in different situations. And he probably wants to speak his truths to others. Now, for some of you, this energy actually is you feminines, and he's comparing you to the karmic that he's with, or you to himself. But for, I think, the majority, this is how he wants to see himself. He doesn't want to see himself here or here. He wants to see himself here. But he knows he needs to end the situation. He's not ascending. He's stuck. He's just repeating cycle after cycle. He's going from the Ace of Swords to the Ten of Swords over and over and over again, and most of them in reverse. And he's not getting here where he wants to be. And he is seeing that this is the reason why he's not getting there. This could be that some of these karmics have dominant air sign qualities, Gemini, Libra, Aquarius, or it could just, this can just be a general energy for somebody that is, they're like covert narcissists in there. They play victim mode. There's always an excuse for lack of accountability. They're always lying about something or another, and they're always kind of like, come over here so I can cut you kind of thing. And it's not warm. It's not cuddly. It's not nice, and it's very, it over focuses on logic and really belittles the value of emotions, which the King of Pentacles values both. The King of Pentacles is the step before the Emperor, and he has learned about intellect and good boundaries, and he's learned about passion and open-heartedness, and he's learned about emotions and intuition, and he is much more grounded as he gets his pentacles in good order, and has a healthy value for materialism and other important aspects of life. And as he gets into valuing all of that, he gets to be spiritual and more divine, and becomes more divine masculine, like an emperor, hierophant, magician, things like that. But he's noticing that he's got a karmic problem, and it's probably that this hermit then comes in, and here, we'll just put it up here, and that he would like to be single. He would like to be able to sit in his throne and get his ducks in a row and look at them in a row and have them be comfortable. But he's stuck in this cycle. In fact, this almost is a cycle of itself. You get betrayed, you have some fiery messages about it, you think that it's going to go somewhere good and you're going to get on top, and then you're thwarted again by the karmic third party, and then the whole thing starts over again, you know. Or it could go even the other way, that he gets in a good situation and the karmic comes in and then he has fiery messages and then he gets betrayed and then he tries to get back up here. But either way, no matter which way you look at the cycle, where he's ending up, and he can probably see that, is antisocial, disconnected, not, feeling stuck, like you're not getting wisdom. This is almost a kind of a hangman reverse sort of card, and it's stagnation, and it's not fun, and he's starting to feel his age and really thinking about, boy, what's the legacy he's going to leave behind if he keeps doing this. He wants to get here, and I think where they want to go here. They want to have kind of more of a spiritual connection. They want to follow their inner voice. They want to follow their intuition. And this is also a very Virgo card. They want things more organized. They want to feel like it's like they have an ease with running their environment. Sorry about that. They want that. Now let's look at what's on the bottom here. So we have Page of Wands in reverse. This is in their subconscious. A lot of them are feeling very emasculated, very immature, very like they're being treated like children, and not in a appropriate, healthy, loving way either. They're being treated like naughty children, or children who aren't capable of doing anything. Let's see what's at the heart of the matter. Oh, yeah, look at that. Right on top. This is the top of their thoughts, that they're trying to tame themselves. This is really good, though, because for a fair amount of you that were in some sort of dynamic prior with your DMs, and a fair amount of you separated because they were being very immature and they were not very emotionally disciplined. They were acting in this energy of this Page of Wands in reverse. And I think because they got themselves into some sort of situation like this, they're feeling those childhood wounds in there, and they're feeling like they're being treated like a child. And so what's in the top of their conscious mind is they want to tame themselves. They want, I'm kind of getting a couple of things. Some of them kind of want to have access to their more feminine energy, and they consider their more masculine side. They want to be able to tame it. They don't want to feel so reactive. They don't want to feel like they're going to continually get caught up in toxic situations because they're being impetuous and reactive. And for others, they want that, but they also want to be able to feel kind of like this lion that is able to come up to the feminine, and she trusts it, and it opens its mouth for her. Like a lot of us think about it from the other way of, that feminine has tamed that lion to want to come up and open its mouth. Well, what about the other side? That the lion enjoys that experience of also going up and knowing that feminine is not going to plug his nose or hit him or hurt him. He wants to be touched in a gentle way, in a way that a feminine really can. He wants to feel safe going up and doing that, and it's a reciprocal safety. And he also wants to feel like he has courage. A lot of divine masculines right now are not feeling very courageous, and they're feeling stuck. They're feeling stuck, and they don't feel like men. Let's see what's in the heart here. Yeah, see, look at that. That's very fitting. 5 of Cups. Remorseful. Regretful. And I'm thinking, what I'm getting here is a lot of times this is a card about learning to have gratitude, because in one of these cups was poison, the other 2 is wine, and you wouldn't have known which was which until you kicked it over. But actually, I'm kind of getting the image that divine masculines right now are actually, they're getting ready to turn and look at the 2 cups that they know is behind them, and they're actually more so looking at the cups in front of them that, I think some of them kicked it over, but it feels more like they're looking at the mess in front of them with their karmic third-party situation, and they're seeing that their karmics, have tried to poison them, have tried to keep them drunk, or tried to keep them from having any sort of emotional connections outside of their own. And they're probably, because they're, they're trying to step into their power, they're not actually feeling as pulled into, the victimhood game. They're actually looking over here and saying, with this person, I have a mess. That's what I have. I cannot keep these cups upright. They will always fall over. They will be too full or too empty or something. And I'm just going to keep repeating this cycle if I keep with these cups. But if I turn this way, I have 2 cups that are still standing up over here. And yeah, it might be a little journey over the bridge there. I might have to go over some emotional waters, or at least look over the emotional waters to be able to turn and see, to turn and experience these cups. But I think I'm about ready to, because this is not good. Either the fact that there was poison in them, that betrayal energy, I think they're seeing that these masculines are seeing these cups were not safe in the first place. These cups might only have water in them, but he knows there's no poison in them. And he knows that they're stable, and he can have stability here emotionally and physically, and feel safe in that. And he's kind of looking at this kind of in a disgust energy, like, I can't believe I had myself in a situation where I could have gotten poisoned. And really feeling that, like, immaturity in there. Okay, I'm going to pull from the other deck, because I don't have a whole ton of time on here. Let's see. What do we got here? Karmic, thank you, Spirit, for showing us what's going on with these karmics, with these DMs, and their tail and one. It could almost also be like tucking the tail because they didn't win. Let's see what we got here. We have the 3 of Cups, which is the 3 of Hats. And I'm using my Alice in Wonderland deck. I figure it's kind of fitting for karmic energy. Yeah, 3 of Cups and Temperance reversed. Interesting. So, right off the bat, this is usually a joy card, a reunion, but it can also be a third-party card, and it can also be a kind of a partying card. And I'm noticing, I mean, every time I look at the cards for each reading, it can look a little bit different. But right now, what I'm noticing is 2 things. One, none of these characters seem to be, like, offering a drink to each other. In fact, they seem to be more like they're getting ready to dump their cups over on each other, sort of. This guy seems like he's just going to dump it on the ground. He's going to dump it on him, and he's going to dump it on him. And all of them are kind of doing fancy footwork. It's like almost like trying to walk through a kitchen without, like dumping hot water on somebody, but everybody's in the way. And Temperance in reverse here, that's, there's no consensus, there's no agreement on things, there's a lack of healing going on. Let's see. Oh wow, of course, Tower in reverse on the bottom of the deck, which, lots of earthquakes and aftershocks and moving goalposts and things like that. We've got the Hermit in reverse. Let's see what else we got here for karmics. Thank you, Spirit, for showing us what else is going on here. Oh, what do we got here? We have, the 3 of Wands. Okay. And this is, I like it because these are slightly different interpretations. So there's I'm gonna have to get a few more cards. What I'm really getting the sense of is either they're pulling back the curtain and seeing the reality that they're not going to win, and there's nothing really to win, but they're seeing the situation as a win-lose sort of thing, very black and white, very like, I win him or you don't, or I win issues with him, or maybe this is even her to a degree trying to get him not to agree with you on certain situations if you've got kids or legal things that you need to go with, whatever it is. But I'm getting more a sense that this is more them. They're trying to withhold some kind of a communication, either to you or to them. I think for others, this is also that they're getting ready to reveal something about themselves, either to you or to these masculines. Let's see if we can get one more card here. Thank you for one more card, Spirit. A little more definition. Okay, the Hermit. Interesting. Let's see what's on the bottom of the deck here. We've got the Five of Swords in reverse, which is, well, it's conflict, but it's resolutions. And this is in their subconscious. Somehow they want to resolve the conflict. So there's definitely conflict going on. And on the top, ooh, look at that, hot topic. Yeah, so either they are talking about leaving the masculines, or the masculines are talking about leaving them. Yeah, I think there's two different senses. So for some of them, they want to resolve the conflict by leaving and run away, which is that lizard energy. They want to just let their tail get cut off. They'll regrow a new one later. For others, they are trying to resolve conflict with their with your masculine, so that he won't leave. But he's about ready to let his tail just, why not? Just let it go. It's not worth it. The tail that I've grown here is weak, and it's going to get cut off anyways. I might as well just be done with the situation. Let's see what's in the heart of the deck here. Oh, yeah, look at that. And actually, I think this one came up when I was shuffling before. This is the Eight of Swords, but it's flamingos, so they've got anxiety. They're playing the victim card a lot. They feel like they're trapped. It might even be that they've got themselves in a situation where they become dependent on men to provide for them in certain different situations, or maybe they have children that they've been getting caretaken by masculines, or paid for in the sitters and things like that. They might have medical challenges or financial challenges, whatever it is. There's a lot of thoughts, and they're sharp thoughts, and they're going into their own shadow work and their own pain body, and they're feeling kind of like there's so much conflict around them that they're allowing themselves to stay stuck, and they're playing a very victimhood role, and they're probably hoping that will, in their subconscious, in their pain body, through going through their trauma response, because that's what we do when we're in karmic energy. They're probably thinking that somehow being in that victim mode will reward them with a resolution with their masculine. It may be that they're hoping that if the masculines feel bad enough for them, that they're going to resolve it. But let's look at what's underneath here. Two of Swords. Ace of Swords in reverse, Page of Swords in reverse. There's a lot of that. Three of Pentacles in reverse, Two of Cups, the Star, the Magician reversed, the Two of Wands, Nine of Cups. Yeah, no, I think what this is showing is that game of playing the victim. I'm just going to pull this card out. That game of playing the victim, and even of doing this, like creating conflict in order to keep it, like they're now trying to go back to playing a victim card, and probably trying to also be a little more fun, be a little more joyful about things, because they've lost their footing, they've lost their grasp on these masculines, and it's probably a combination between the masculines have that very divine ability to cut their tails off and they can regrow it. They'll be okay. They'll be fine. And so do divine feminines. And they're noticing that they cannot knock either energy out, especially for you divine feminines that have also been focusing and reflecting and focusing on your queendom and getting your ducks in a row, which is helping your masculine do the same things. And they're trying to play the victim, and they're trying to do it in a way that makes them seem more fun, and come on, we can do it, let's resolve this conflict, we don't need to fight, that you love this stuff. And they're feeling defeated, which is partly adding to, like, their head and their heart are not connected, and so it's not really in it. And they're probably getting frustrated. That I bet you, even because when I was doing the reading half for divine masculines, yes, it's frustrating, but it felt like a frustration in a way that's like, I'm going to change this. I'm going to get somewhere. I'm not going to stay there. I'm going to get here. I'm going to go strong. Whereas over here, it feels much more like frustrated energy, and in a stuck sort of way, in a fear of abandonment sort of way, in a like, crap, he's going to see me. He's going to see what's really behind this mask that I wear, what's really behind this curtain. He's going to call me to the carpet. And she's probably having dreams. It's interesting because these are both hermit cards now. Now, the karmics are in upright, whereas the masculines are in reverse. So it could very well be that either she is already, like, considering herself single, or she could be seeing him as single. Maybe he said something like about it. Maybe he's like, I'm done with this situation, but he hasn't left yet. And so she's trying to figure out how to resolve it and get him to stay. But he's probably not talking to her. He might not be talking to you either, but probably not talking to anybody. And he's trying to get his stuff in a row. He wants to get here. And it's probably already told her that that's where he wants to get, and so that's what she's seeing, and he's revealing that to her more and more, and as that's probably why this energy is here. She's trying to play the victim. She's trying to get resolutions. She's trying to, oh, that's what it was. She's trying to prevent him from leaving, and she's trying to make it so she doesn't have to leave. She set up this comfortable, you pay for me, you do what I want, you listen to what I have, and you don't go anywhere situation. And he wants to run from that. Look at that character, and he wants to run away from that. And she, she wants to keep that situation. I see her almost kind of as this moon card, just very like, like, darn it, I have to do more. Like, I haven't gotten it. You're just not happy yet. And these are very immature energies, and these are led by spirit. Like, spirit is holding her cup intentionally, and holding it away, and revealing her secrets and his secrets, and getting them both into the state of singledom, to listen to your dreams, listen to your intuition, and this situation is not right for you. All right, well, I'm going to leave this here. I have to attend to a couple of other things, but please leave any comments below if you have any questions, and I leave my email in the description box if you would like a private reading, and I'll probably do some more tea readings later. Please let me know what you thought of the added homophone cards. I thought they were kind of fun. All right, see y'all in the next video.